In this video, I'll show you how to make this job application tracker in Excel, where you have some of the KPIs on the left, charts to break down your application pipeline and the job types, and a complete list of applications with clear statuses on the bottom. On top of that, we'll also have a separate sheet with the roles that you're planning to apply to next. Best part is you just need to set this up once and you'll have it as a template forever. Let's get into it. And thanks to HubSpot for sponsoring this video. First up, we're going to set up two separate sheets, one for the applications and the other one is going to be for the pending applications. Going over to this first one, let's now work on the different headers. So first, we're just gonna have the number sign here, and then we're gonna have the different application numbers. Then we've got the company, the position, the location for it, the job type. So this is gonna be like, is this a remote job? Is this in-person, hybrid, etc.? Then we've got the date that you applied in, so the date applied, followed by the status, and then we can have something like the follow-up date. So this is maybe if you've had an interview, or even if you're just waiting to hear back for the application, you can just have a follow-up date in here, and who you should follow up to, so that's the contact person for that, followed by a salary range if maybe there's one available. If not, we can just have something like an NA, and then we have the link to the actual application and any notes at the end, like maybe if you got rejected, the reason for it. Now let's quickly format this area. I'm just gonna select it and press Ctrl B to bolden that. And I'm also gonna add some dark blue borders. So I'm gonna put this one and change the inside to white. Now we just need to fill this in with some company data. Let me fast forward how I do that. Here's what it looks like, and you can download this Excel file with the filled in data in the video description to follow along. Now for the follow-up date, let's convert this first into a table by pressing Ctrl T and hit enter. Now here, the follow-up date, what I'm thinking is having the date applied. First, let me turn off these filters so we can see things a bit better by pressing on that filter button. And now I'm thinking there's the date that I applied and maybe I give it 14 days. So this plus 14 is going to be the follow-up date that should spill down all the way to the bottom. Now let's work over on these different statuses. So for this, we want to make sure that we have the same status throughout. For instance, if it says rejected, the next one shouldn't say declined, which basically means the same thing, but written differently. This is going to allow us to create some good summary metrics after. So we want to make sure they're all the same. And for that, over to the side, I'm just going to use the unique function, hit the tab key there and select all of the statuses in this table. This way, we're going to make sure we have all of the unique ones listed over here. These are all of my different options. So let's go ahead and call these the status options. Now that we have these status options, let's hard code these. So I'm going to copy them and make sure I paste them as values. So the shortcut there is Ctrl Alt V, and I want to paste them as values. Now you can see there's no longer a formula. And with that, we can go over to all of the statuses, select all of those, head over to data validation right here. And we're gonna choose a list, and that list is going to be the different status options that we've got over on the side. Hit enter there, press on OK. And now you'll see that each one of these has the drop down with the 5 options. And if I change this from assessment to something like declined, which is clearly not in the status options, you'll notice it's gonna say, hey, you can't actually add that, which is exactly what we want to keep things consistent. Now that we have the base data as the foundation, we need to think about the overall structure. So right above this whole area is where we're gonna have the dashboard. So we'll actually add quite a few rows of data, maybe around 16 before we actually start. Now that we've got a fair bit more space on the top, it would still be nice under the status down on the bottom, whenever there is actually an offer, for that to be somehow highlighted. And we can easily do that by selecting that whole area, going over to conditional formatting, highlight cell rules whenever they're equals to, and we want to choose the offer here. Whenever it's an offer, maybe we want that highlighted in green, and you can see that looks slightly better. We can easily make this stand out a bit more by going back to conditional formatting, manage rules, and we're gonna edit this one slightly further. So whenever it's equals to offer, we want this preview. That's fine by us, but let's also add some other parts to it. So I can choose to add some kind of a bold to it. So as the font style, I'm gonna choose a bold, and I'm also gonna want to add a border, so a top and a bottom border for that part. Press on OK. apply, and okay again. So you can see that once we get an offer, it stands out a bit more. I can change this one to offer as well, and you'll notice how that whole part updates too. Before we get into the dashboard, if you want to become a better Excel user, I've teamed up with HubSpot to create a guided template with 50 Excel hacks to boost your productivity. By clicking the link in the description, you can download this resource completely for free. It includes 10 of my personal favorite Excel hacks, as well as 40 others to cover even more scenarios. The download includes instructions on how to use them and sample data to practice with. HubSpot even includes short demo videos for each one. Personally, I find this template most useful as I can refresh my memory on some of the best Excel hacks because they give me that sample data that I can practice with. So I recommend visiting the link in the description below to download this completely free 50 Excel hacks guided template from HubSpot to level up your Excel game. And thanks to them for sponsoring this video. Now that we're set up with the applications down below, we can start working on the dashboard above it. And for this, if you head over to the support sheet in the Excel file I've provided, then you'll find this shape, which is the shape that we'll be using for all of the different designs, KPIs, and icons we're gonna be adding in here. This first one is simply going to be for the title. So let me try to add that roughly around here. You might be wondering, how do you actually make these different color waves? Well, I'm just gonna right click here on any shape, you can do that and go to format shape. And under fill, you'll notice instead of using a solid fill, which is what most people do, I went for this gradient one. And within it, I've added a few different gradient stops. So this is what gives it that whole color wave. You'll notice if I move this one around, you see the blue color goes a lot more to the right. And then here's kind of back where it was before. That's the idea there with creating gradient stops. That's how you would do something like this. And let me go ahead and name this the job application tracker. I'm gonna make this a fair bit bigger and also by font. And let me fast forward how I add the different shapes. Awesome, here we are with all the different shapes, and now we need to add the different text boxes for each section. So I'm gonna go over to insert, and here I'm gonna go for shapes and choose a text box, which is the first thing right there. So here we're gonna have something like maybe the total, which would give us the total number of applications. And you'll notice that white background and all, that's not something we want to get rid of. So under shape format, we're going to go for no fill, and we're also going to go for no outline. The text itself though, we want it to be in a white color. I also want to bolden it and try to make it a fair bit bigger than right now, something like this. So this is going to be the total applications. Then over here on the side, you'll notice here, what I did was Control Shift and drag that to the right is maybe the active ones. So active just means that they haven't been rejected just yet. And then Control Shift down to drag this down, Control Shift and to the left this time. So that's how I'm dragging them along there. Here, maybe I can have the pending ones. So the pending is something we'll work on later in the next sheet. So it's gonna be a bit later in the video. And then down over here, I can have the actual offers. Let me add an S there at the end. And I'm also just gonna make this a touch smaller actually. So down like that. And now each of these is obviously gonna have some numbers. So I'm just gonna Control Shift and drag that down one. And in here is where we'll be linking the different numbers. Not gonna do that just yet as we don't have them calculated. So now that we have that dashboard structure, we're just missing the actual numbers. So let's work on that data analysis step right here over to the side. So you'll notice we have the different status options. Let me actually bring this up so we can see it a bit better. And within it, we wanna try to do the counts of them. So how many are applied, how many do we only have an assessment, etc. So we can just go over to count if, hit the tab key there. The range is going to be all of the different statuses right here. So Control Shift down there, comma. The criteria is that they gotta be equals to the applied, and then the next one's the assessment, etc. That's 6 for the first one. Double click here all the way down to the bottom. And now that means that we have the total number of applications. So which is just gonna be the sum of all of these at a total of 25. So here the idea is that the applied just means you send the application. Assessment is when you get something like a math test, a higher view interview, things like that. Interview would be with an actual person, and then hopefully that leads to an offer or a rejection. Similarly, over on the left, you'll notice I have this active button. This one basically means jobs that you haven't been rejected for, so you're still alive, let's say. So I'm gonna put active in here, which is simply going to be the sum of all of those except the rejected ones. So that's going to be a total of 18 there. Now we have a fair bit of information we can start linking. So here as the total, let me delete that, head over to the formula bar, and the total we're gonna link with this total of 25. That now means that whenever this figure changes, it's gonna be linked. So let's suppose I put 20 in here, you'll notice that that's been updated. So it's gonna be fully dynamic. Now let me go back within it, and I just need to change the formatting, which we'll do in a second. Same thing with the active, we now have that. Let's link it from the formula bar and choose all of the active ones in here. And same thing with the offers. That's something that we currently have. So I'm gonna press the equal sign and go for the offer, which is this 3 right here for now. Now, with each of these, I'm just gonna select all of them at once and change the formatting. So I'm thinking of adding a white background, boldening it and making it quite a bit bigger than it is right now. Let me stretch out that shape. Something like that I think is looking a lot better. We've gotten most of the KPIs, which means we can start working on the actual chart over on the side. And for this, I'm gonna first just take the whole title area from here and drag that over to the right like that. So this is going to be the application pipeline. Let me make sure I stretch this out a bit more, maybe make it bigger and center that part. And then I'm just gonna select all of the relevant data, which is gonna be all of these parts until the rejected. Head over to insert. And here I'm looking for a bar chart. So something like this I think can work very well. You'll notice right now it looks rather ugly, so we need to make a few changes. We don't need that title, we already have one. We're also gonna get rid of these labels on the bottom because I'm actually just gonna add them in here by right clicking and going to add data labels. I think that looks a bit more elegant. Now for the format, right click, go to format chart area. Now I'm saying I want a no fill and I want a no border. But for the actual bars themselves, let's change those to a white color. I think that's gonna look a lot better. And also for the font itself, we're gonna go for everything in white. So that's gonna be over to home. This is a text, so I'm just gonna change that to white from there. Same thing with this part, I'm gonna change that to white. And let's compress this a lot more. So just gonna make that a lot smaller from both sides. That said, I have a lot of space here in between the bars, so let's get rid of that. I'm just gonna click on those bars there and right click, go to format data series. And here as the gap width, that's what I wanna reduce maybe to just like 100 or so. I think that looks a bit better, maybe even at 80. Now I can get rid of these other lines as well by pressing the delete key. And hopefully that's a lot better of the chart. Awesome, here's what that looks like. And now we need to do the same thing over on the side. So I'm thinking of using something like the job types. That can be pretty interesting to see how many jobs are remote, how many are in person, etc. So I'm gonna put job types in here. And I'm simply gonna copy paste this entire chart. So drag that over to the right like this. But this one, I need to change the actual cells that it's linking to, right? So for job types, we need to add a whole new area. So job types, let's call it. And I'm gonna use the unique function again. This time it's gonna be the different types of jobs. So as the job type, let's try to select all the unique ones from here. And you'll notice that I have a few different options. In-person, remote, hybrid is the mix of in-person, remote, and travel could be something like a job that requires a lot of traveling, so it's not really in a fixed place. Now with that, we can go over and do the count if to the side, and the range is gonna be all of these different job types, comma, and we need those to be equals to a specific one, like it being in person. Double click here all the way to the bottom. The total should still be 25. You can see on the bottom right, that's currently the case, so that's good. And now we need to link it. So I'm gonna go from here and drag this down over here. Let me make that a bit smaller. And same thing over with this side, drag this down like that. And you'll notice it's lost a bit of the formatting, so we're gonna need to make just a few changes there to bring it back. Right click, format data series, and here as the fill, I wanna go for a solid white. I also wanna add some data labels and make sure those are in white as well. And in case you don't like this order, like having the longest on the bottom, we can easily make that change by clicking on the axis here on the left and right click, format axis. Here we want to categorize in reverse order. Now that looks a lot better. So we have that foundation. I think this is now starting to look a lot better. But one thing we can add, kind of a small extra bonus, is an icon over on the side. So for this, I'm gonna go over to Insert and choose Icons. Maybe for the application pipeline, we can get a bit motivated by adding something like a rocket. Let's say we go for this one, and it looks like it's added the rocket over here. And the idea is the same with the job types. Maybe we can add something else. I'm gonna go over to Insert Icons again, and maybe something like a work bag. So I'm just gonna type work here, see what comes up. Let's go over actually for this one, that can make sense. Press Insert, and I'm gonna select the two and make sure the colors match a bit more with the rest of this dashboard. So I'm gonna go for a dark blue like that. So once right there, that seems to be fine. And then we'll add a second one in here. Awesome, I think that looks a lot cleaner. You might be wondering why we decided to convert this into a table, and let me show you why that is. Now, if I add another one in the bottom, let's say I put number 26, you notice that the data starts to fill in. And if I go over here, that dropdown already exists. I can choose applied, and guess what? Now it's saying 26 in the KPI. It's also gonna show over here as number 7 now instead of 6. So all of this is dynamic because we're using a table. If it wasn't the case, we would need to take the whole formula for each part and drag it slightly lower, but you'll see right now that's not even needed. So we're ready to work on the final section, which is the whole pending part. And for this, we'll go over to the next sheet. Here you'll notice the structure is slightly different. I've added a few similar columns, but also new ones like the deadline and the days left to apply. So the idea here is for the days left, I can go to equals and type the deadline minus today's date. I'm gonna get a day number of 16, 17, or whatever that is. If you're not getting a day number, press Ctrl+1 and make sure under custom you choose a D. D just stands for day. So now we get a full breakdown just in number of days. And because the today function is dynamic, if we open this file tomorrow, the number of days left is going to have been reduced. We can also add a conditional formatting in here. So I'm gonna go for something like color scales, and let's suppose that we go for a red color. So whenever it's closer to a 1, you'll notice that it gets more and more red. We'll also need to link this to the actual dashboard by first creating some kind of a total over to the side. So that's just gonna be a counter. So counter just counts the number of occurrences, doesn't count like the numbers inside of the cell, let's say. So we'll select all of those. It's a total 10. Let me bold that, center it. And now I can go over to this whole pending part and update this. So I'm gonna put an equal sign, and as the pending, let's select that 10. Now you'll notice the formatting is a bit messed up. So all I'm gonna do is select the one next to it, press this painter, and click on that 10. Now you'll notice it's got the right format. I just need to make it slightly bigger. As a small bonus, one thing you could do is add some more coloring to the statuses. So for instance, down over here, under conditional formatting again, we could say to highlight cell rules whenever they're equal to a specific value. So whenever you've been rejected, maybe that should be in red. You'll see how those get highlighted right there. And you can continue doing that for all of the options if you like. Once you complete this job application tracker, you want to make sure that your resume or CV is fully polished, which you can learn how to do with this video over here, or you can check out our recruiting course over here. Hit that like and that subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.